All right, we're here with actor Conor Romero, who was recently on Blue Bloods, but you may recognize from his season-long stint on the Michael J. Fox show. Why don't you talk a little bit before we get into that, how you came to the realization you were going to do this as a career, and how old were you around?
I was, I think 12 was like the exact age I thought, I'm gonna do acting. And I just watched Rain Man. I watched Rain Man. And Dustin Hoffman in that. I was like, the idea that actors can do that was very inspiring. And I thought, I wanna do that. And then I started taking lessons and things like that. And I just kind of said, yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. And of course, I didn't realize the reality of what acting was.
Right.
I don't think anyone does when they first start. But it started there, and I haven't stopped since.
When you first started out, did you know the direction in terms of the genre you wanted to be in, whether it would be film, television, or theater?
No, I mean I did have a fear of the stage when I was young, just the idea of memorizing all those lines, and so it really was. It was film in my head, just because that's what you see. You see that when you turn on television and all these ads for the next blockbuster coming out, things like that and whatnot. And things have changed since then. But at that time, it was all about us thinking, film, doing movies and things like that.
What did you do to overcome that fear of the memorization of the lines?
Funny, I was taking lessons with a wonderful actress named Alice Spivak. And I was doing one-on-ones with her, and she also had this is when I was 18. She also had a scene study class in the city. And that was my first time getting plays and going through them, whatnot, and performing them in front of, a group of your peers. And being able to get up on stage every week, I was like, hey, I can memorize lines, and I can go through the process of rehearsing and building characters and things like that. And it was like a year after that I did my first play from the class. I did a scene of This Is Our Youth in the class, and I decided, hey, let's do the play. And great experience.
Was there a project that you went into really nervous and then were put immediately at ease, or are you usually pretty confident when you go in?
For an audition?
No, for an actual project that you've actually booked.
Oh, project actually booked. No, I feel pretty good. I think the most nervous I ever was when I did my first play, because it was my first play.
Right.
And even though it was my idea to do it, I did have my moments of like, oh my God, I'm gonna be on stage for a while. And it's funny, being on stage is. I watched an interview with Al Pacino a while ago, and he describes it as you're walking a tightrope. Like once you start, there's no going back. You have to keep going forward. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty accurate. So it was a great experience, and I think that's the best I can really describe it.
And a different experience every night, because the audience
is different every night.
Completely different, and may react totally differently to everything.
Every night, yeah.
What was that like, bouncing off the audience and maybe having to fine-tune your performance a little bit based on that?
It's funny, the first night we only did like 2 or 3 nights because we didn't have the rights to it, so we can only do a certain amount of performances. And I remember the first night it was like laughing in places we didn't even think were funny. And then the second night it was more mellow. And I remember like intermission we were going like, is it us? What's I said, no, it's just every night's different. You don't know what's gonna happen from night to night. And so that was a learning experience. That was interesting. Which kind of seems obvious now, but at the time it wasn't as obvious. But yeah.
Now, you went on to star on the Michael J. Fox show for a season. What was that like, being cast in a high-profile project like that?
Bizarre. The whole thing was bizarre. I remember going in for the initial audition for that, and it was untitled Michael J. Fox project. It didn't say he was in it. It said he was producing or something like that. And I thought, all right, I'm going in for the son of this person. And I went in. I thought I did really well. And then it was towards the end of the year, and then the industry shuts down for like 3 weeks. So I didn't hear anything for 3 weeks, and I honestly I didn't even remember I went in on it.
Mhm.
And then after everyone came back in the new year, he said you have a call back for this show. Um, they gave me a new scene to do with the dad. That was not initially in the first scene audition, and it said Michael J. Fox may be at the audition. And I thought he could be reading with me, and also he could be playing the dad. Jump to I'm screwed because I look nothing like him.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, you know what? If that's the case, I'll just go all in because maybe they'll bring me back to the best friend of the son or something like that. You know, maybe they'll remember me for another part within the show because there's no way I'm going to play his son. And went in. He was there, read with me. Did it. Felt good. Got on the train. Went to the Bronx. By the time I got off in the Bronx, you have a call back tomorrow for NBC, at NBC, in front of executives, directors, things like that. And then I remember in that room, there was like 6 other dudes, all looked totally different from each other. One was really tall with long, like rocker hair. One was just like had a buzz cut blonde. And then there was like a guy who looked like Michael J. Fox at 17, 18. I'm like, well, this is the guy.
Right.
I said, this dude has it. I said, I should just leave right now. But, and then, I went through another stage of looking at tapes, another week of waiting, and then boom, you hit it, and you're just like, there's no way. It's like, what? You know, it never really ever hit me that, yeah, you're working with these, and not just Michael. I mean, Betsy Bray just came off Breaking Bad, Katie Finneran with Tony Awards,
Oh,
Wendell
yeah.
Pierce. It was this all-star cast of people that you're automatically surrounded by and working with. And then you have the kids who were great too, Juliet and Jack Gore. So it was best 6 months of my life, by far.
And did you guys tape in front of a live audience, or was
No,
it?
we didn't do a live audience.
Did you find it harder to do the sitcom than theater, or was it a kind of a different muscle and you kind of enjoyed both of them for different reasons?
Yeah, no, I definitely enjoyed both of them for different reasons. I actually felt like I struggled like the entire first season of the show, and I went back recently to look at some of the episodes that I'd never seen because I really didn't look at the episodes while they were airing. And I thought, man, I was really holding back on a lot of stuff. Also, because it was my first time in a big,
Right.
consistent part, and you want to please everyone when you're up there and people and whatnot. And the difference for me is it's interesting because the stage you can say is harder because you're up there and you're going through it. You know what I mean? It's you got this chance. If you mess up on TV, cut, you do it again.
Redo it, yeah.
But at the same time, the rehearsal process for the stage preps you way better than in television. There's no rehearsal in television. They rehearse for the cameras and the lighting and things like that, but there's no rehearsal in terms of building a character. You do that on your own.
Right.
And maybe you meet up with someone else and you can talk and whatnot, but not really. But the stage is in a way easier in the sense that by the time you get to the performance, you're prepared. Like you've done the work. You put in 8 hours a day, how many weeks and whatnot, and then it's showtime. But the television, film too, well, television mostly. It's just okay. Here's the script. You get it a week in advance, and then you find out what scenes you're doing. They're out of order. So the
Yeah.
sequence is sometimes a little off in terms of your emotions. You can build your emotions in a play that lead up to whatever, but television's just different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a certain genre in the industry that you feel more comfortable doing, or are you pretty comfortable all around?
I feel comfortable. Yeah, I feel comfortable doing anything. Doesn't mean I feel like I would exceed in it right off the bat. You know what I mean? I think you gotta put in work in any genre. I would like to do more serious stuff now, just because I did a comedy for X amount of time, 6 months or whatever
Right.
it was. But yeah, I like all of it. I think it's all great.
What's a piece of advice that you have gotten in the past, and you don't have to mention who it was by, that has really helped you keep fighting the good fight because acting is a tough business.
That's true. I've had a few things that were really good that kind of resonated with me. I think no matter what profession you're in, whether it's acting or you want to be an engineer or a teacher, you need someone that's going to back you.
Mm-hmm.
At least one person that says, yeah, you're on the right path. This is what you're supposed to do. And as long as you have that, and as long as you respect the person that said it, nothing else really matters. Then it's like, okay, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do. I've had those moments where I'm like, I don't know if this is exactly what I should be doing. And then you just think back, well, this person said, this is what you need to be doing and whatnot. These are mentors and people I look up to who have done it,
Mm-hmm.
And if they have the vote and confidence in me, then I should have it myself as well. So that always, anytime I have like that, those moments of, I think back to that, and okay, I'm okay. I'll keep plowing forward.
And now to flip the script on you, what advice would you give to people who are just starting out?
First starting out, I always say, sometimes I have a friend who will come up, someone who's saw television shows, I think I want to try that. And I always say, it's, for me, and what was told to me when I first started too is, can you see yourself doing anything else? And if the answer is yes, go do that. For me, this is for people who cannot do anything else. I mean, being a bartender or waiter doesn't mean you're doing, I mean, you're
Right,
getting
yeah, that's
by.
a survival job.
But if you
Yep.
can see yourself being a photographer or
Ambulance driver?
ambulance driver, to go do that thing, because there are people who literally are just like, yeah, this is it, or I'm homeless. And those people are the ones that just put in crazy work.
Yeah.
And that's where I've always come from. Just you got to put in. I dropped out of school to do this, which people thought was crazy. Maybe I was a little crazy, but yeah,
Certainly
that's what
turned
it
out
is.
well, so it doesn't.
For now, I mean, it's still early.
Hey, don't jinx yourself, Connor.
But yeah.
Now you have a project coming up that you're working on now. You talked about back to your theater roots.
Right.
Why don't you give a little info on that?
I would love to give you all the information I can. Unfortunately, we don't have a theater yet, so I can't tell you when or where. We're shooting for late April, early May. It's called Matt and Ben.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm doing it with a friend of mine, Ryan Willard. It's being directed by my mentor, Alice Spivak. Both our mentors, Alice Spivak. And going to rehearsal tonight for it. And it's, yeah, again, that's really all I can say. We don't have a venue. We're waiting to until we feel really comfortable with it, until we start booking places and prices, and how many nights. Probably gonna do about 10 performances or something like that. Quick run. But yeah, that's coming up the next few months, and we'll be posting that on Facebook and whatnot.
Now it's traditionally done usually with women, right?
With women, yeah. That's the funny part, is that it is usually done with women, and we're gonna swap the genders.
Yeah. As well it should be. Matt and Ben are boys.
But it's also interesting because I saw. It's funny, when we read it, we did a read-through, the guy, me and my friend, and the director said she had saw the original, and she thought it was very funny. It's hilarious. These two women up here playing Matt and Ben, it's funny. And when we read it, it suddenly became very serious because it's guys. When women read it, it's like, oh, it's these two women playing these guys, and the dialogue's good, it's funny, and like you know who the people are, so that's funny too. But
Right.
when guys read it, it becomes, certain things become very serious within it, because you're not, it's two males playing two males, you know what I mean? Like there's something within the text that takes out some of the comedy, but at the same time that creates a good challenge for us to
Absolutely.
find the comedy in other places, make it very truthful and whatnot, and hopefully we can hit that. But that was a challenge initially.
You said you were looking for a venue to put it up in. Are you financing the project with your friend as well, or is
Yeah,
that,
we were thinking of
what are those challenges like to actually try and mount the show that you're starring in, knowing that it's going to
Yeah.
be good and you just have to get the place?
we had several options. We were going to do a fundraiser because it's part of a theater company called On the Road Repertory,
Okay.
and we do fundraisers whenever we're putting up plays and things like that. My friend Ryan is an MC at a very cool club called Spin New York. It's a ping pong lounge, and he can easily set up a fundraiser for a night or something like
Mhm.
that. If we need to raise money, I have money saved for things like this in case we don't have any money.
Yeah.
And there's I'll obviously fund it because this is what I want to do. That's why I save up my money to do plays and whatnot. And usually you don't get your money back, but that's just what it is.
Right. Well, you're not doing it for the money. You're doing
Right.
it for
for
the
people
art of
to
it.
come see and watch and hopefully have a really, really good time.
That's great. Well,
Yeah.
as soon as you know where it's going to be, please hit
I
us
will
back up and
let
we'll.
you know for sure. I'm the worst social media person. I have no Twitter or anything like that. But I have Facebook. Facebook is as far as I go. But yeah, I'll definitely be promoting it to some degree.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet up.
Absolutely. Thanks for bringing me in.
Thank you.